So welcome everybody. This is Fran Brasso and I'm the president of HSMAI Foundation. HSMAI stands for Hospitality Sales and Marketing Association International. And we're really pleased to be doing a series of interviews called Insights for Interviews with leading professionals in hospitality. And today we're talking with Bob Anderson, who's the president of Star Performance Inc. Group and a great friend and an amazing trainer, speaker, and sales leader. And today we're going to interview Bob about insights for interviews for hospitality, sales, and marketing. If you're new coming into the industry and you're looking for some tips on how to interview, this is a great place to be. Today we're lucky to have Karen Woolard. Dr. Woolard and I have had an association for a long time through her original contact, which was the Florida International University, or FIU. And Karen's going to be our interviewer today. So Karen, let me take it to you.
Terrific. It's delightful to meet you, Bob, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your insights as far as new people coming into the industry, perhaps going for their first interview in a hotel situation. So let's start at the beginning. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your career in hospitality and what you've learned along the way.
All right. Well, thank you, Fran, and thank you, Karen. Yeah, I've been in the hospitality industry about 35 years, and I got to it kind of a roundabout way. My first actual sales job is I sold karate memberships for a number of years. I was a fighter. I fought over the country and really enjoyed that. And I was tasked with getting parents to spend a lot of money so their kids could beat each other up. It was a great job. But I got to the point where I wanted to move on. So I actually joined the military. And again, so many of the heroes out there, I'm so glad to be a part of this. I went to a basic training in Fort Dix, New Jersey, had a lot of fun there, and then found myself in Fort Huachuca, Arizona, and where I became a military intelligence analyst, and was locally here in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, where I'm from, with the 360 Psychological Operations Battalion. I loved it. While I was in the reserves, I started working in a financial company. And I liked that. I sold investments, insurance, and myself and two other gentlemen, we created a large agency. When I left, it was about 36 people. And what happened was, it was such a defining moment. I enjoyed growing that. We'd finally become financially stable. And one day I'm driving home, and I hadn't been married that long, and I realized that I didn't like that business. The financial industry had no passion. Talking about investments and insurance just wasn't the thing that got me up early on a Monday morning. And I said, I want to find something that I really can have passion. I want to go through life and not have to work for a living. I just want to enjoy what I do. And a very good friend of mine, Doug Peterson, we went to junior high together. He was working in the hospitality industry, and I started working for his rep firm. And doing selling in large groups and events. And eventually, many of our customers that we were selling for started saying, how come you guys sell so much compared to everybody else? And I started showing them the things that we had learned. So I've not looked back. It's been the greatest joy. I have such passion about what we do. And for those of you watching this, I hope that this could also appeal to you in that way. So that's how I got here. And here we are.
That's terrific, Bob. I know people seem to have very different career paths to discovering hospitality. So thanks for sharing yours. Let's go ahead and I'm going to ask you to address the roles that salespeople play in hotels. And I know there's a great variety of different roles and responsibilities. So if you would just go ahead and help our viewers who are new to the industry kind of interpret a little bit of what that sales role looks like.
Yeah, absolutely, Karen. And again, this isn't tried and true for every organization, but I think it's good when you're entering something to know what the career path might be. And I have people that are aspiring to get to the VP level, and some people simply, I've had very good friends that have gotten to the VP level and said, I want to go back to a one property sales position because that's what they like to do. Here's the different roles. A sales manager at a property, it's usually a unit level. And what I was always confused when I came to our industry is they would call themselves sales managers. which to me means you're managing people. But I found out what they're managing is a segment. And what that means for the viewers out here that aren't familiar with hospitality, the hospitality sales focus is broken into market segments. Maybe it's corporate group, corporate business travel. You have association, you have tour groups, you have religious, fraternal. So each of these folks, sometimes one salesperson will handle all of the segments. Talk about spinning plates and making things happen for one property. But often if there's 2 or 3 salespeople, they will break up the different segments and sometimes even break it up into geographical markets. That's usually the entry level into our industry. And then once we get to a point where we've mastered the selling skills and we have some leadership qualities, we become a director of sales. And as Holly had said in her video, marketing sometimes is added into that. Once again, that can be, doesn't have to be, usually it's at the unit level. And now you're overseeing a team of sales managers that are managing segments. So the role changes. Usually, not always, but usually a director of sales will be responsible for their own sales production as well as leading the other team. Once they meet with success with that, if it's a large enough organization, they can move into a regional director of sales or regional sales director of sales and marketing. That, of course, is multi-unit. And that's where that person gets to take all that knowledge they have of all the segments and the skills and really build teams across a number of properties. I have a lot of people that are good friends of mine that it's their perfect position. It's just so much fun to help grow and people get to the next level. And then usually, and the next level would be a corporate level or a large enterprise level, vice president of sales or senior vice president of sales. And obviously they have more influence on not just working with the teams, but the focus of the marketing process and overseeing all of that. However, I have one customer with a very, very large casino. This person has a staff of 12 salespeople because it's a huge casino, and that person's title on one property is VP of Sales. But that's just kind of an overview of how this goes, and so there really is room for growth, room for develop, and fantastic opportunity. That's the process.
And if you go ahead and continue, talk a little bit about the roles and beyond the roles, what does the job look like and what are the skills that are involved?
Yeah, a sales manager, a very common day would be getting in early, checking all their emails, organizing their process of selling, knowing what to do, what they have to do, and really just executing. They have a very set amount of revenue and goals that they're working towards, and then obviously all of that is managed up above. In fact, if you'll turn to the next slide, this might be something that's very important for all of the folks that are interested in the hospitality. These are I call it the 3 legs of selling within our industry. You have converting inbound inquiries, rebooking current customers, and prospecting for new business. And I'm going to explain each one of these in a little bit of detail. Each are important, but they're different. It's a different skill set. And one of the things that's important to know about yourself is which one of these or all of these you can master. Some people are great at responding to inquiries or rebookings, and some people are great at prospecting, those hunters. It's a unique set of skills, and you really have to know yourself to know which of these is best going to suit you and help you be successful. First of all, converting inbound inquiries. That's when a sales lead comes to the property. It could be a call-in, it could be a walk-in, it could be an online lead, it could be the brand that sends leads. They have some processes of getting opportunities to the properties, and the third parties are Helms Briscoes, the hotel planners of the world. What is interesting now, what has changed and evolved, is today lack of leads is not really a problem. In some cases, they get too many of these leads and they have a hard time keeping up with all of them. The skill set for this is in a timely manner. The research shows when you have an inbound lead, no matter how it came to you, the most successful salespeople are able to get to it first. They're the first ones to the punch. Then they connect with that prospect, they qualify and find out what's the need, what's the scope, what are they looking for, and then the salesperson must build a compelling case that addresses their specific needs and be a little bit of a consultant in there and saying, you didn't mention you needed this, but I think this is something you should also consider for your whatever the reason for the visit is, and then closing the business. And so there is a lot of time in converting inquiries in today's world. The next is rebooks. You know, these are the customers that we're already doing business with, Karen, and these are the people that we try to create that loyalty. We all know from the stats that a rebooked piece of business, a return piece of business, costs about 10% of what it costs to attract new business. And that's where you work with that current customer to keep them a current customer. I mean, I have properties that have had the same company, organization, association operate at their convention center hotel for 5, 10 years. I have some that are booking out the next 10 years. And that's based on the relationship building of the salesperson, certainly, but also the staff. When you're in sales, you're not just selling customers. You've got to go out and work with the staff members, the front desk, the room setup people, and motivate them so that they can deliver the service that you're promising that they're going to get. So that's really an important part of the business. And the one that I have to admit is my favorite, it's prospecting. That is when a salesperson finds the lead, however they find it. And there's so many tools available with Google Alerts, LinkedIn, driving down the road, seeing a truck, or whatever, or getting referrals. They take that lead and they work. That's a little different because these people aren't coming to you and they don't know you. So you have to learn how to use your skills at the bottom there to gain the prospect's attention, which is a very unique skill. There's certain things you can do to stand out, to compel them to want to talk to you, to want to, hey, this is interesting, I'm curious, let's talk. And then you connect with them and obviously build the rapport, qualify the business, build and present the business case, address concerns, and then close the business. All are equally important, but I will tell you the one that I think is most needed, quite frankly, in our industry today is the prospectors who love the challenge, who love the hunt. We call those the hunters versus the farmers. And if you can manage that and be good at rebooking and be good at converting inquiries, I'll tell you, you could write your ticket anywhere. I just believe that. So that's kind of the things that we talk about there. With that in mind, I was thinking, because I know this, we don't have 4 hours here, and Fran knows I could talk for 4 hours just introducing myself sometimes, but I started thinking, what are the 3 areas that when I do a lot of work, one of my passions is the University of Wisconsin South, the HSMAI chapter there. It brings chills to me when I think of all these young people that have grown. And when I sit down with these one-on-one, these are the 3 things that I try to just plant the seeds. First, you got to have the right mindset. Secondly, you got to have the right communication skills. And then the sales aptitude. Yeah, you don't even have to know how to talk in this business. Sorry about this is live TV here. Okay, aptitude. All right. In fact, if you could go to the next slide, let's talk about mindset. And this is something that can't always be taught. This is something for those of you watching this who have been around folks in the military, you will absolutely understand. There's just certain things, the way certain people are wired that you can't teach. And it's very important to be totally honest with yourself. Say, do I have this? Because if you in your heart don't feel you have it, the prospecting part of it, some of the stuff, there might be other parts of hospitality that might be better suited for it. I just want to be very candid on that. Here's what I talk about mindset: the drive to succeed and achieve your goals. It can't be, I hope to, I wish to. It's absolutely, I'm going to be successful. Whatever the goal is, I'm going to work hard to get it. And I shouldn't even use the word work because it's not work. It's that challenge every day. We do a lot of when we do consulting for our customers. We have a profile that we use called Sales Drive. It does determine from an internal standpoint if somebody has the ability to be a hunter and farmer. And one of the most driving forces is the need to achieve. That sometimes is inherent. Also, the mindset, like the challenge of working multiple leads. I will tell you, sometimes there's a lot going on, and a lot of us love that chaos. What's the old saying? Overwhelm me, overwork me, but please don't bore me, right? Use that in the military. This is a career. If you're really going to do this, you'll always have a lot of things going on, and you have to know how to, hone that in and keep it under control. But it's a very rapid, multitask type of business, and that's a mindset. Also, Mike Levin. Mike Levin, for those of you who know, is just a great mentor and a great friend to HSMAI. I'll never forget Fran at the Dallas conference when somebody asked him, what's the key to success in selling? And he didn't talk about sales technique. He says it's a mindset. If you truly want to help people, not just sell them, you're going to be successful. And I just believe that if you really want to find out what somebody has by a need, and your goal is not just to book it and get the money, it's to help them. It just becomes your habit and your psyche. Also, there's a thing we have a word called no. You got to be willing to hear it, and you got to deal with it and accept it. And mindset of no. That's why a lot of people get afraid of sales. They're afraid of rejection. And what you really learn is eventually that a no is just as important as a yes, quite frankly. If you have to get 10 no's to get one yes, and you have the right mindset with drive and the challenge and excitement, the quicker you get those 10 no's, the quicker you get a yes. It just becomes contagious. I don't know if contagious is the right word, but that's mindset. Next, we have the next slide is the communication skills. The ability to create instant and lasting rapport with prospects and current customers. Okay, sounds obvious, but it's not always easy. A lot of times people have heard the saying, people do business with whom they like and trust, which is only part of it. Yes, they got to like you, and yes, they have to trust you. But in today's world, the best salespeople create the need. You might like me, you might trust me, but there's other salespeople, and you'll find in our industry we have the greatest relationship building sales force in the world, bar none. I'm telling you, we are the best at it. And most of your competition is likable and credible. So the differentiator is now need, being that educator, right, Karen? It's being able to get insight and help somebody solve problems that they have. And when you have that, you have such an advantage in the marketplace. Listening skills, not just for the sake of hearing what are your needs, how many people, how often, uncovering the emotions. We all have the emotions. Our brain, our subconscious mind is 24 times more powerful than our logical brain. And in it, we have logical and the emotions that we're going after is what are we worried about? What are they concerned about? What keeps them up at night? What wakes them up at 2 o'clock in the morning saying, oh, how am I going to pull this off? And when you listen for that and you can communicate and educate to that, I'm telling you, you don't have to have the best product and the best place and the best price. They will do business with you. Be a storyteller. I also remember, Fran, years ago in Las Vegas, we had that great person that talked about being a storyteller. You really know how to build a case. Once you've uncovered the problems, the emotions connected to it, you got to be able to tell your story, not sell your product. And I think that's such a wonderful gift. When I hear people talking about how their product, their hotel, their resort, whatever, convention center, whatever it is, helps people, and they say it in a way that it's almost like you can paint the picture of it, that's a great communication skill. And, disciplined and timely professional follow-up. I put that in here, that some people would think that that's an aptitude, but it's really communication skills. The number one reason in sales within hospitality we lose business is we don't have a timely follow-up. So I put that in the communication sales part of it. And last of the three is sales aptitude. Kind of mentioned this a little bit. Learn and understand the sales process. You have to know the steps, and you have to be able to measure the steps. All too often, people really measure how many closes did you get? What was the revenue? And if you can learn how to understand how many connects do I have to have, how many qualifieds, how many opportunities to present, overcome objections, you're going to have a better aptitude and understanding of the steps needed and where you need to change. And then at the end of the day, it's going for the yes. And as I say, sometimes just going for the no. One or the other, it doesn't matter. My life's going on. I'm going to be happy. I love what I do. Yes or no, it's up to you. No pressure. How to address common obstacles. Every product, every service has common obstacles. Oftentimes they're really just misunderstandings where you have to educate a customer, and you got to be able to do that in a way where you're not defensive, where it's not an argument. It's not I win, you lose, I win. It's let's figure this out together. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, all the best to you. 3, learn to negotiate. And we have such a unique opportunity in our industry for negotiations. Oftentimes people try to get a better deal or a better rate, not for the sake of the deal or the rate. They do it because they're justifying their existence to the people they're representing. They gotta beat us up a little bit and see if they can, they can get something so they can go back to their organization and said, look at what I did. Woohoo, big, strong person here. I got him down. And that's where learning the aptitude of negotiating that leads to yes, and understanding the concept of high value perceived and low or no cost. So that's an aptitude. And then the last thing is use the tools and events to uncover new sales opportunities. As I said before, this is really something that we are so fortunate today. I remember back in the days, we'd have to look through magazines and newspapers and trying to find a lead. Now it's all there. 3 clicks and you can have 100 people that we could target. And the last one I put in there is referrals. I will tell you, if you learn how to get referrals, you never need to have an internet. It's the greatest type of referral or piece of new opportunity business you can get is a referred lead. So again, mindset, communications, and aptitude. I think those are just kind of a great overview of what it takes to succeed. I'll leave you with this one. Karen, any thoughts? I'm kind of rolling here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're on a roll, and definitely stay there.
Okay.
Final thoughts,
Yeah.
advice you can give to a new candidate about to embark on their first interview?
Yes, I would say that, and we are going to send to you some of the questions for you that we've prepared for the sales side of it. Holly did a great job explaining some of the things for her focus. But the reality is it start with yourself in mind, understanding, is this something you would love? We've all heard it. Our parents have told this, but I just had to say it again. If you do what you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. And so I would just go, I would do my research. I would understand myself of those skill sets, the mindset. I'd try to figure out which kind of sales role I would want. Also, what kind of property? Do I want a smaller property? Would I like to go for a resort or a convention center? It's really all over the board. And I know sometimes where you're located will have a kind of a decision part of that. But just learn what you like about selling and communicating. And it's not pushy, pesky sales anymore. It's helping people and to have a great experience. And I think if you go leading with your heart, not just your head, and have that passion, because I know when I'm involved in interviews, that's what we look for. Give me the passion, give me the fire, give me that thread of success in the fabric of life. In other words, I would ask questions like, if you haven't been in sales before, but tell me a time that you're very proud of what you've done. And if you have those stories, try to blend that into your conversation, because that stands out sometimes more than just experience. So good luck to you all. And if you ever need anything, call me, but all the best. And thank you so much for you and your family's service.
Thank you, Bob. That was
Thank you.
amazing. You obviously love what you do, and it comes through. And I do hope that the folks watching really appreciate the energy and the passion that you bring to this endeavor.
Thank you.
So thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Fran.
No, so in closing, what I'd say is, you know, I've been in sales my whole 30+ years career, and I love selling because I'm thrilled with the opportunity to win, and I love people and relationships, and working with someone like Bob Anderson would be a real benefit to coming into sales. And Bob means it when he says, if you need help, reach out to him, and we'll provide contact information for him when you listen to this interview. So thank you very much for joining us. I'm Fran Brasso, HSMAI's Foundation, and this is our Insights for Interview on Sales.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.